Hey guys, this is Zero, and today we're doing the second part of my ultimate ER-6n tail tidy installation. Today we're looking at installing the Motodynamic Sequential LED Tail Light. It comes with everything you see here in the box. It's very well packaged from the factory, including this little plastic sheath over the light. It's got an integrated wiring harness as well as a secondary wiring harness to assist you in connecting the system directly into the stock wiring of your motorcycle. They include this little resistor kit that just clamps right into the electrical wires for the main taillight to prevent any flickering, and it comes with an easy to follow wiring diagram and installation manual. To begin installation, go ahead and remove the rear seat, and then you can move ahead and remove the front seat. And now take a look directly under where the rear seat was covering. Under here, you're going to see all of your rear tail lights and signal lights cable running through some little cable management clips in the bottom of the bike area here. Go ahead and unclip everything from those wire management clips. There's two spots, the one you just saw, and the secondary spot here. Once you have these clips out of the way, you can go ahead and get ready to tuck that main power cable away so it's not interfering with anything. I like to tuck it right in this spot here. Then grab that little rubber sleeve and pull it right to the rear of the bike to make space to work on unclipping all your other cables. You should have 4 cables to unclip total: the main tail light, the 2 signal lights, and your license plate illumination light. Once they're all unclipped, you can take that little rubber sleeve right off to make it easier to access all the different cables. I've got a gray signal cable, a black plate illumination cable, a black signal cable, and a black tail light cable. Now get ready to take that main power cable out with the factory light. Undo the 2 bolts at the back of the bike, take the little trim panel off the top, and loosen the 2 rearmost bolts on the trim panels on the back of the bike. This will make it easier to pull the factory light out, and then go ahead and pull it right out. Once it's out, you can go ahead and take off the 2 washers, the 2 little T-spacers, and the little rubber grommets from the factory light. You're going to need to save all of these, so make sure you set them somewhere safe and secure. Grab the little trim piece from the top of the light, and you can go ahead and set that factory one aside. Install everything in the rear order onto the Motodynamic light, starting with the trim piece, the little rubber grommets, the little metal T-spacers that you can see here, and then hold off on the washers for a second. Feed the cabling through and get the light wedged in the rear trim pieces as the factory light was installed. Be nice and gentle here, don't scratch anything, and then place your washers back on top and get the bolts reinstalled to hold the light down and in place so you don't lose anything while you're doing the rest of the work. Make sure your fitment is good while you're tightening everything up. Go ahead and place that black trim piece back on carefully to make sure you don't snap any of the little plastic clips, and then grab the 2 little plastic clips that you just push through to hold it in place on the fairings and get those reinstalled. Once you've got both of them pushed through, you can grab yourself an Allen driver and start tightening up the fairings. Just make sure to keep your fitment well checked while doing this so you don't have to loosen it and do it again later. Now grab your resistor kit, including the 2 little blue inline crimp kits, and get ready to clamp those onto the tail light wiring harness coming off the Motodynamic light. You're going to clamp one onto the black cable, as you can see here, crush it down with some pliers, and then grab the other one onto the white cable, as you can see, and crush it down as well. Once they're both crushed onto the wires and you have a secure fit, just grab that little Y-shaped resistor set and plug it right in. Now that you're done, you should have the wiring harness coming off the light with the resistor clamped in, and you're going to now go ahead and connect your secondary wiring harness into that primary one coming off the light using these little turquoise, teal, crimp crush connectors, or whatever you want to call them. And now you're ready to connect directly into the factory wiring harness coming off of your bike. If you want to do a test of all your wiring, I'd recommend doing it now before putting on the little rubber sleeve as I'm showing. However, if you've done everything properly as in the video here, you should be fine to go ahead and sleeve everything through the little rubber sheath here. This rubber sheath is just an extra level of weather protection, so it is good to get everything through it and kind of bundle it all up nicely and maybe tape it all down together inside. And that will generally help with longevity of your wiring, preventing any weather issues or water seepage from causing shorts or anything like that. Now, I'm not doing a great job at cable management here, but I would highly recommend that you experiment with running your cables as neatly as you possibly can, just to get a nice professional look. I would also recommend taking all that color-coded wire that you can still see and wrapping it all in electrical tape just to have a nice professional look at the end of this installation. I didn't do that because I was in a hurry. Do as I say, not as I do. As you can see, I just connected the 2 signal light cables into the factory wiring harness, and I'm basically just going through here and doing my best to get somewhat decent cable management done so that I don't have cables strewn throughout the whole rear compartment of the bike. I'm just using some zip ties here to start to kind of manage everything and get it together. And once it is all together, you should basically just shove it into that big rubber sleeve, and that should keep it together for the most part going forward. And that's it. Your kit is installed and you're good to go. So go ahead and throw on your front seat again, and then throw that rear seat right back over top. Make sure it's clipped down and locked in place, and it's time to check out the finished product.